Hey everybody, Austin here again. I am going to be doing a Avatar from Stern Pinball 2010 live tutorial video. I did one of these probably in like 2015, super long time ago. Terrible video quality. Well, still not the greatest video quality today, but I digress. But yeah, it's been a long time since I had first played Avatar. Avatar was actually the first pinball machine, first modern-ish pinball machine I played that got me into pinball back in when it was brand new. It was around 2010. I ran into one in the wild, and I got hooked on it, and I guess you could say the rest is history. It's probably one of my favorite games, not because it's the deepest, but because it does have a lot of challenge to it, and it's very satisfying once you get things going. And it kind of reinforces a lot of flipper skills. You can loop pass in this, live catch, bounce pass, drop catch. All that's going to be used. You've got side target banks you have to hit if you want to get to the end game. There's lots of mode stacking and stuff like that, which I think is a very crucial core skill that a player needs to learn if they want to try to improve at pinball and improve their scores. And it's just fun. It's got a great sound package, and the light shows I think are pretty awesome. And typical John Borg, you've got a magnet on the playfield, and the way that that magnet is utilized adds a lot of randomness to the game. And it's just a fast and, to me, exciting game to play. So anyway, I wasn't going to do this anytime soon. I have a couple things I need to work on the game. Like, for those of you guys familiar with this game, you'll notice there is no amp suit up there. It's a toy that moves up and down. It kind of like, when you hit the target banks back there, it falls over. It's a really cool toy, but they're prone to breaking apart, and mine is basically in pieces. It doesn't affect the gameplay functionality. However, I was going to wait to try to get another amp suit on there. But, you know, in order to keep Stephanie from continuing to hound me about this tutorial video, because she really wants to know the rules on this really simplistic game, we're going to do an updated tutorial minus the amp suit. Yeah. So this is going to be, I think, a little bit different from my usual live tutorials. I think what I'm going to try to do is sort of like piece this together. It's all going to be improvised, but I want to talk about each mode individually. And then I want to talk about certain strategies like stacking stuff together, and I want to try to chop that all together so you guys actually have a pretty comprehensive tutorial. Not a lot of tutorials in this game out there, and I've also since learned a few things since my last tutorial ages ago. I had a couple of bits of information in there that I wasn't quite clear on, like the hurry-ups, but now I totally get all that. So yeah, I want to sort of explain everything, and yeah, hopefully this tutorial is useful to you guys. So but anyway, starting off, I wanted to mention that if this game looks a little bit different to you, that is because I did mod this with a lot of aftermarket features. Like I've got mirror blades on it. I've got a modern Stern apron, which has the holes cut out. So I wired up some lights so you can see, over the flippers. It's actually a really awesome little mod. I love that. I added some toys. So there's a Banshee on the Banshee ramp on the top left. And I added some toys from the second Avatar movie. And also some stuff on the left, a couple things in the far back. I did a few touch-ups on the game, replaced the Mylar up top, and I did a few other things like that. And it's playing nice and fast. I think as of doing this tutorial, I got it about a year and a half ago, and I ripped everything off the playfield and cleaned it, and it is still very clean. Even though I haven't waxed it in like 2 months now, it's still playing pretty well. I did want to note, as far as difficulty is concerned, the tilt bob in this, it basically won't stay on, so I just play it as is. I try not to shake the game too much, because you don't want to get used to no tilt bob and then go to like a tournament with a really tight tilt and start shoving stuff around. But I don't really bother with that. I just try not to shake it too much. So yeah, there is that. I know someone's going to point that out eventually. Also, the outlane posts. Avatar is a brutal game. It's one of Stern's hardest games, I feel. A typical John Borg of the era, like Iron Man and Tron and stuff like that. Very, very difficult layout. And so I've got the outlane posts moved all the way in. Actually, that's how it was when it came to me, when I bought it a year and a half ago. And I've just left it because it's just it's fun. More fun with them in. I think on my old tutorial video, they were probably all the way out. So yeah, very drainy game. You can still get bored. You can see these two metal rails on the far left. You do have outlane post and rubber on that, so keep that in mind. Slingshots are fairly sensitive, I think, or one might be more sensitive than the other. I just kind of live with it. And pops fire really good on this, and there are some modes in this game, like Seed's Fast Scoring, which is a switch-based mode. It's good to get the ball on the pops. Also, the Final Battle, if you complete everything, that's also a switch-based mode, so fast, hard pop action is really good. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to talk about before I jump in to sort of explain the rule set. I guess what I'll do is I will talk about all the various features on the game. So that's actually really important before we start jumping into actual rules. So, standard stern, you take the plunger, the ball plunges all the way to the top lanes. You don't really ever want a short plunge on this game. The reason for that is that there's a spinner on the right orbit, so no matter what you do, you will validate the playfield before the ball gets to your flippers. So if you're playing in like a really harsh tournament where they've turned all the ball saves off, and guys, please don't turn ball saves off on Avatar. That's just no, please. Short plunging isn't going to do you any good, and there's some great benefits to the top lanes. If you complete all 3 top lanes, you can light a playfield X. You see these guns in the playfield with these big, bright greenish X's on them. You can apply a 2X multiplier to any of those shots, and it'll last for the rest of the ball. And so every time you get up there and you complete those 3 lanes, you light your next multiplier. And if you light all 7 multipliers, which is extremely rare, and if you do it an 8th time, you'll light a 3x roving shot that'll just keep going back and forth. I've only ever done that like 3 times maybe. But if you can manage to do that and you get to the final battle, your jackpots are absolutely gigantic. So it's extremely satisfying if you can do that. But so yeah, short plunging is not really something you're going to want to be doing on this. So just plunge to the top always. Now, there's this thing called getting avatared. This was a big complaint when the game was new, and it's probably still a complaint today, depending on your game, where the pops feed literally is aimed straight down the middle. Now, the rubber setup on my game, it kind of, I don't know, the ball doesn't usually go straight down the middle. It's actually less common than it is on other games. But there are some mods for this game, like you can put an AC/DC style gate up there, or a little wire that will kind of like divert the ball over to the left a little bit. But thankfully on mine, you shouldn't see too much straight down the middle action on it. But on other avatars, you just have to be warned that is a very dangerous pop bumper feed. So yeah. Let's see. So yeah, you plunge to the top, you got pop bumpers. Starting on the left hand side here, you have the Navi targets, and if you complete all 4, they'll start pulsing at you, and if you hit it again, you will start the Navi scoring mode. They call it Navi scoring, but what it really is it's these in-lane lights. If you complete all 3 in-lanes, you light a hurry-up on the opposite side of the playfield. And what Navi scoring is, it just lights all the hurry-ups at once. So instead of picking off your hurry-ups with the in-lanes, you can do Navi scoring and try to pick off all your shots. And after you do that, you can actually go into what's called Navi Multiball. You have to complete all the character hurry-ups down here, which are these white lights in the middle. And so, yeah, you do that via in-lanes, or you do the Navi targets on the left. So, left orbit is Grace. What's interesting about Avatar is there is no diverter up top. So there's no like motorized diverter like there is on a lot of sterns. So if you shoot the left orbit, it actually goes all the way around. And orbits in this progress you towards Valkyrie. If you shoot the right orbit, it'll actually feed the ball to the top lane. So something really important to know. It's a very important difference because, if you're in a multi-ball and you've got a super jackpot ready, but you don't have your super jackpot at ×2, well, if you got balls trapped on both flippers, try to get one up to the top lanes, cycle your lanes over, and then when you hit that super jackpot, it'll count it as ×2, and then lock that shot in for ×2. So knowing that the right orbit always feeds the top lanes is very, very important. So next feature is the ramp. Probably cost-cutting Stern game. There's only one ramp on the game, and that progresses you towards Banshee, which is, to start, it's a ramp mode, but later on, as you play more Banshee modes, you have to hit other shots before you activate the ramp for scoring. Right next to the Banshee is called Link. You can see that white light flashing. That's the Link shot. And so what that does is locks a ball, and it's a multi-ball. And it's on stock settings, it is very easy to get into. It's you throw a ball up there, you lock it once, and then you just shoot it 2 more times, and then you'll be right into that multi-ball. To the right of that is the light unobtainium. You'll notice that there's a white light flashing on that as well. You don't ever go for that unless you don't know what you're doing, or you're in the final battle. Final battle is activated on that target. You'll see the lights in front of it just pulsating, letting you know that it's ready, and it is the super jackpot shot in final battle as well. But that is really the only time you want to hit it. Usually you'll hit it by accident because you try to hit you try to hit your amp suit, or you try to hit your Link and you miss, because some of the geometry in this game it feels unconventional in a way. Everything just feels off a teensy tiny bit, which is hard to describe, but when you play this game you kind of understand what you're playing. But if you happen to hit it, you light the outlanes, it says unobtainium, and that unobtainium, it's just small points. It's not, you don't want to go for that target. It's just not worth it. But yeah, so to the right of that, you have the amp suit, and the amp suit is actually blocked by a door, and it's actually a Spider-Man style door, and you either have to hit the door 3 times to fill in the AMP lights, or there's a roving light that goes back and forth, kind of like on Spider-Man, the Sandman shot on Spider-Man. If you hit the roving shot, it'll bring the door down instantly. So really good to know if you're trying to get into amp suit. And then once the door is down, there's 2 construction-looking targets, and then there's a bullseye target in the middle. You can hit either of those 3 targets to progress towards amp suit multi-ball. Now, if you hit the bullseye target in the back, you actually get more points. So something to keep in mind when you're trying to progress towards amp suit multi-ball. Next up on the right is the AWA Captive Ball. That's your mystery award on this game. And it's actually pretty important. And the way the mystery works is a little weird. I don't know if it's a little bit like Iron Man, but it doesn't always prioritize adding time to modes. Sometimes you'll get a random award like boost pop number values to 20,000 a pop, or get 200,000 points. And then maybe you hit it a 3rd time, and it's like, oh, we finally decided to add time for you. I found it to be very inconsistent, but what's really cool about the AWA shot is that it's activated, or it's qualified based on switch hits. And the exact switch hit count is just, I don't know what it is. I've tried testing it by hand, just activating a single like in-lane switch, and it's like, it's over 100 typically, but it's not like, it's like 113 sometimes, but it's really weird. You might be able to have it activate more if you lower it in software settings, if it's an option. I don't remember if the AWA mystery is an option in software settings. But it is very good because it's also your add-a-ball during multi-ball. And if you bash on it enough over the course of a game, you can light special, which I have special set to award points. And I think that's about 7 million for the special. And then you can also light extra balls. So anyway, moving on to our last main feature here, we have the Seeds fast scoring targets on the far right. And so that's basically a fast scoring mode, much like, say, on Iron Man. There's a lot of similarities to Iron Man on Avatar. So Seeds fast scoring is a lot like Iron Man fast scoring, where every switch starts off at something like 15,000 points. You can bash on the target bank to boost the value, and then you can try to rip the spinners, but you're not going to get many points from it. Why Seeds is important is that you have all your modes down here. And for most of the modes, when you start them, the inserts here will light. And if you get all the inserts, all 6 inserts, plus all your character hurry-ups, you will light the final battle. And if you're trying to blow up the game in terms of score, final battles is always your goal. However, if you're in a competition, you know, you might just want to stack your multi-balls over and over. You know, that's probably the safer strat, because again, Avatar is a hard game, and you're not going to get to the final battle every time you try. Trust me. But yeah, if you start Seeds, Seeds will light here. If you start your Orbit modes, Valkyrie will light. If you start your Link and Amsuit multi-balls, both those will light. Once you start your first Banshee mode, that will light. Once you've collected all the Navi character hurry-ups, and then start Navi multi-ball, Navi will light. And then once all 6 are lit, plus all your character hurry-ups, you'll light Final Battle on the middle. So Seeds isn't something you're going to play by itself for points. Like, don't go for Seeds in a tournament if you're just trying to get points. Not worth it. But yeah, you want to focus on other modes and maybe bring them into multi-balls. So, but anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to actually start playing. I know that was a really long introduction, and I'm trying to think of some other differences and changes I've made before we start. I think the only thing is the extra balls in software settings. You can raise the percentage of how often it appears. On default, it's like a really low number, and I think you can max it out up to like there's a 25% chance extra ball will appear. It still doesn't come out 25% of the time when you hit the captive ball, but it is more likely to appear. And Avatar is notorious for extra balls basically like never appearing on location. If you have a routed game and extra balls are on default settings, it's like they never come on. It's extremely rare, to the point where when I bought this game, it had over 11,000 plays on it. Extra balls over the course of this game's lifetime. 2010 to 2023, that's a really long time. Extra balls appeared 16 times. That is crazy small for 11,000 plays. So I recommend boosting the extra ball percentage up, because you want to get extra balls in this game. It's a tough game. And one other thing I wanted to mention in terms of Final Battle. So this does share a similar rule set to games like Iron Man and Rolling Stones and Tron and just other games from that like 2008, 2009 through like 2011 era Stern, where you have simple objectives and you have to finish them. You have to get these inserts flashing to get to the end game. Well, Avatar is not like that. It's actually a little bit easier to get to something like Final Battle than it is to do any of the wizard modes on any of those 3 prior games I mentioned. So what's cool about Avatar is that you can just start the modes, except for Navi. You have to get to Navi multi-ball, which is a pain. As long as the colored lights and all your hurry-ups are collected are lit, then Final Battle will light. However, you can still finish modes just like Iron Man, just like Rolling Stones, just like Tron. They will start flashing at you. The significance of that is when you drain, as long as you finish the mode, you won't have to play it again to qualify Final Battle on your next ball. So you drain, you come back in, it's like, oh man, most of my lights went out. Oh, but Seeds is flashing at me. That means you finished it. So there is big benefits to finishing your modes. It makes getting to Final Battle, especially on like balls 2 or 3 or your extra ball, much more doable. There's a misconception, and it's actually the same with Iron Man as well, which always bugs the hell out of me, is you got to do it all in one ball, and that's absolutely not true. It's not even true for Iron Man. If you finish your modes, you can lock it in, and then you don't have to play it again to qualify the wizard mode. So, so it is really beneficial to bring modes into multi-balls and try to finish them. And what's great about some of these modes is that some of their shots overlap with the multi-ball shots. And so you're collecting like 2-for-1 deals left and right. You guys will see as we start playing. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and start a game. And I'm going to try to just explain the modes one by one, starting off with Banshee. Alright, for Banshee, all you have to do is just hit the left ramp, the only ramp, and you add letters to Banshee, B-A-N-S-H-E-E. And you'll notice I got my top lanes done, so that means I have a 2x multiplier. So if I can just hit that ramp, I will apply the multiplier to that. Bounce pass, just loop it over, and ooh, just barely. There we go, one more, and now one more to start it. Oh, it started already. And so all you do is just loop the ramp. Very simple rules. But if you have it multiplied, it can be extremely lucrative. So it's a great starting strat. So normally my first shot would be 200, but because I've got it at times 2, it's 400. The next one's going to go up in value. If I can hit the damn thing. Try to pick off another one, and nope, not working. Alright, so I'm going to post pass. I'm just going to try to hit the Banshee ramp again. And we're just going to keep trying to play that. So when I start Banshee the second time, it's not going to let me loop that ramp right away. I'm going to have to hit the ramp once after it starts, but I'm also going to have to hit the left orbit. And then I can go into the loop in the ramp mode after that. Every time you start Banshee, it adds another shot to the qualification across the playfield. I've had it to where I've played Banshee so many times, I had to pick off 5 shots before I could actually start looping the ramp again. It's kind of an interesting way of keeping the player from just looping the ramp over and over. So, bounce pass, it was kind of a drop catch, sort of, and then bounce pass. Alright, we're just going to post pass. Now, if your flippers are super duper strong, you can sometimes backhand it. Most avatars you're going to play, you're not going to be able to do that. But my game is still fairly clean. I try not to take advantage of that too much. But I am getting a lot of rejects here. The live catch to, left orbit and live catch on the right flipper seems to work pretty well in this game. Wow, I cannot hit anything. I should note, I haven't practiced pinball at all today. I set up my stream rig and my recording rig, and basically I just jumped right into this. So, right? And if you can get past the crappy webcam quality on the DMD, you'll see that we needed one more letter on Banshee. Boom, there we go. So now I need both the left ramp and the left orbit, like I mentioned. You can also loop pass. A lot of people are scared to do that, but man, it is a very good skill to have. And you notice I have about 15 seconds. I can try to backhand the AWA, captive ball. Add time. So I'm up to 37 seconds. I added about, 20, 25 seconds. There we go, 600, 800, boom, 1 mil, 1.2, very satisfying if you get that loop down, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, and then it caps out at 2 million if you have the double multiplier. 2 million is a lot of points in this game. Now, I've also started Bomber Battle, which when you start Bomber Battle, it is orbits, the occasional ramp, and side targets. The side target shots will alternate. But what I want to do is just, for the sake of this tutorial, just focus on Banshee. Alright, so I'm going to go back to Banshee. It's going to be a long tutorial. You'll see I need more letters every time I start Banshee and then get out of it. One more. Boom, there we go. Now I need 3 shots. I need the left orbit. Got it. And I also need the AWA captive ball before I can start looping Banshee. Uh-oh, that's not good. Alright, so captive ball. Whoa, I was expecting to hit that captive ball, and I definitely did not. It's such an easy shot, too. Alright, backhand it. Boom, now you notice my left ramp is flashing at me. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. It happens. So the next time we start Banshee, if we can do it, we should theoretically need 4 shots to loop the ramp. Now, I mean, you can see just from doing Banshee a couple times, we already got 30 million points. And again, it would help if I can get another multiplier. Banshee is very lucrative if you get those multipliers going. So I'm on the left flipper. Man, do I want to risk it or I want to go right back for Banshee? Let's risk it. There we go. Good sort of life catch there. Oops. We're going to post pass. Post passing on these John board games, they generally work quite well. So always think of that as a strategy on this game if you have to play one. And you shouldn't think of it as having to play one. I think Avatar is a great game. I love this era because the games are very challenging and they keep me sharp. So we're just going to keep working on that ramp just to demonstrate Banshee. Now, I should have mentioned it at the beginning, but I'm going to try to have all this time-coded so you can just sort of skip around. Oh, man. My aim. I hate it when my aim is bad like that. Because rejects from posts are very hard to deal with. Man, this tutorial is so boring. He's just hitting ramps over and over. What the hell, man? Alright, one more ramp. If I can hit it. Oh, jeez. See, bounces like that are scary. Very scary. Now, when you complete your top lanes, you do also... oh, my hand slipped off the damn game. My hands are all sweaty right now. When you advance the top lanes, you do actually advance end of ball bonus multipliers as well. So, don't think of end of ball bonus as something that's really worth that much. But if you have a killer ball, you get to final battle and you played a really long time, you can get up to like 12x bonus and it could be worth something. Alright, there we go. So look, now we need 4 shots to actually start Banshee proper. That's just such a cool way of keeping players from like looping the same thing over and over, and that being the entire game. Like, that's the thing you do, is you just loop. But now if you want to loop, it takes a lot more work. Alright, I should be able to bounce past that. And what's really cool about picking off all the shots is I think it's boosting your value, like it's collecting normal Banshee shots. So now my first ramp should be worth a decent amount. Yeah, 1.2. No, jeez. I start our bomber battle again, which again is the orbits. Alright, I'm just gonna post pass. Man, Banshee's like the easiest shot in the game, and I'm having such a hard time with it right now. But the pressure is on. The John board plastic ramps, they always feel so good. And the Banshee ramp is no exception. It's just buttery smooth, the ball just glides around. Whoop. Yeah, I'm really shaking the game now. Who cares? It's my game. I can do whatever I want with it. Alright, we're going to go back to looping the ramp. Wow, we're starting all the way from the beginning. There weren't any letters lit. I love how I'm having an okay time looping it when there's nothing scoring-wise going on with it. We just started Navi scoring. You can see all my hurry-ups are lit. I'm not worrying about them right now, because this is the Banshee part of the tutorial. Ooh. Game is fast. Fast game is fast. Shame there's no extra ball. Haven't gotten one yet. I've hit the captive ball a lot, actually. I'm gonna actually go for the captive ball right now, just to see if, for some reason, it likes extra ball. We're not gonna find out at this rate. Alright, 2x is lit. Oh, yeah, this game is being really mean right now. Alright, I'm just gonna go back to Banshee because I've got 2x lit. And that's game. So, you get the idea with Banshee. Basically, every time you play it, it adds an extra shot that you have to pick off before you can start looping the ramp again. And, you know, it's a really simple mode, but what I enjoy about it is doing what I just did there. Sometimes I'll just start a game, and I'll ignore everything else, and I will just play Banshee and see how far I can take it. And we got pretty far there. That last one would have added a 5th shot, and that would have been really cool to see. So, but yeah, that's how Banshee works. Alright, next thing we're going to do, we're just going to shoot orbits all day. Remember, this thing's going to be time-coded, so if you want to just skip to like multi-ball strategies and stacking and stuff like that, just use the bar down below and skip to the section that you would like to watch. Alright, so I'm going to actually just go for the left orbit. If you're trying to get Bomber Battle quickly, left orbit's the way to go, because the ball will just loop all the way around. And like I said, the live catch tends to work pretty well. Although these are traditional black rubbers, there's no super bands or anything like that. I actually had super bands on it, which makes the live catch way easier. But I liked the more bouncy nature of traditional rubber. I think Avatar, back in the day, I don't know if it came with black or red rubber. If anyone was there right when it came out, let me know. So we can also go for the right orbit. Boom, there's one. If you look at the DMD, it says 2 more for Bomber Battle. There we go. But my favorite way to control that left orbit on my machine is the loop pass. And the loop pass is definitely easier with like urethane, you know, flipper bands. So yeah, we got Bomber Battle. Ramp is lit, orbits are lit, and then side targets are lit. And the shots will just kind of alternate back and forth. So you can go side targets, if your side targets register. And the shot values start off really low, but just like Banshee, as you hit shots, they raise in value. So that one was only 350. But the great thing is, if you've got your orbits doubled, the values go up. So like that shot would have been 800 if my right orbit was doubled. Now, unfortunately, the right orbit was out. Like I said, you got to alternate shots with this. And it's another reason why it's such a great mode to stack with multi-ball. There we go. Good old John Borg. Orbit to ramp shot, that's like, he does that in a lot of his games. I don't like shooting on the fly like that on orbit shots, but man, when you get it, it feels so good. I've gone ramp orbit, ramp, orbit, ramp, orbit. It's just like, you're like, how does this work? This shouldn't be possible. I don't recommend doing it in a tournament because you're kind of taking the control out of your hands. You want to be able to control the game as absolutely much as possible. At least that's my play style. So 5 more. Try to live catch and fail. Just gonna ignore Navi and go for my orbits again. Boom, there's another one. And the great thing about the loop pass is you can loop it over to the left and then just immediately flip and hit the right orbits. You'll get 1, loop 2, and it makes really rapid progress towards your bomber battle. So not a great showing on bomber battle, but you kind of get the idea. Unlike Banshee, bomber battle does not change its shot patterns or anything like that. It just takes more hits to start it. Boom, there we go. So we need 2 more. We got a 2x. But it is a fantastic mode to bring into a multi-ball. And more on that in a little bit. Alright, let's get it over to the right side. Because I'd rather have the left at ×2 than the right. I'm more likely to hit the left orbit. Oh, just barely. There we go. Loop pass. Another 2x. These slingshots are making it to where the game is pretty tough. Alright, I can try to add time. There we go, we added time. Got the right orbit. Now, for those of you guys that have not played a lot of these 2010s era Sterns, Stern didn't have RGB lighting in their games at that point. I mean, they weren't even doing LEDs, really. So what ends up happening is you'll have multiple modes going at the same time, but some of the lights will go out, even though the shot is still technically lit. Hey, and there's our extra ball. Let's go ahead and go for that. Great sound effect for the extra ball that you just very rarely ever hear. But as you can see right now, Banshee's going, but my left orbit for Bomber is ready. It's there, but it's not lit. So there's some weirdness to this game when you start stacking modes. So let's post pass. Yep, see, I just collected it even though the light was out. So once you start stacking modes on this game, you need to really be able to track, you need to know the modes inside and out, basically, on this game, if you want to know what you're actually shooting for. And you can tell Bomber is still running, because the side targets are also lit. Ooh, that was close. Got another one? Look at that. Boom. We've probably got the value up to, yeah, 1.7 now, and I don't know if it's possible to add time multiple times. I don't know if that's a thing in this game, but I feel like when you're starting multiple modes and then you're adding time to certain modes, it might pause timers on other modes as well. There's some crazy weirdness going on with the mode stacking in this game and the timers. So like that Bomber battle should have ended a long time ago. I know I added time at least once on it, but then I heard add time again, which I figured was for Banshee, but does it apply the time to both modes that are going? That is something that is really hard to figure out in this game, because there's only so much you can display on the DMD. There's always animations or specific modes that are overriding other mode animations and details and information. So, but, you know, we were getting, our last shot on Bomber was like 1.8 million. And so that's why bringing that into a multi-ball is, it can be, I mean, you can just, I got 35 million just playing basically a couple of bomber modes by themselves. And so you bring that into a good multi-ball that lasts a long time, you get a lot of add-a-balls and stuff like that. I've had multi-balls where I come out with like 70, 80, 90 million points or something like that. And that's actually really big points on Avatar in general. So a lot of pop action. I'm gonna go for right orbit. Oh, I hit the captain ball first. I also think my game's leaning right a little bit. You know, you want to really screw with my psyche is unlevel a game. It screws with my shot making and my perception. Even just like the slightest lean. But hey, it came back, it was fine. I remember when this specific machine was on location, I played this specific machine on location for a couple years before I bought it off the operator. And it always had like a right lean problem. And I'd even get down on my hands and knees and level it for them, and so I don't know if it's like playfield's not perfectly leveled or something like that, like in the cabinet itself. But when my game starts leaning right, I know I can just get down and raise the right levelers. But it always takes me back to when I was playing it on location. And it always had that right lean problem, and it would be a severe right lean. But hey, it made live catches on the orbits a lot easier. Oh, see, that is the danger of loop passing. So yeah, that was Valkyrie. You notice that it's flashing, which means we finished it. On the dot matrix display, when you're running a mode, there will be a tiny little number. The DMDs from this era weren't always the easiest to read. And that tiny number is the progress towards actually finishing whatever you're doing. So on Banshee, when you start it, there's like a tiny little number 5. On Valkyrie, I think it's like 15. I think you have to hit about 15. It might even be 20. I don't remember. It's a lot, which is another reason why you'd really want to stack it into a multi-ball. Some of these modes, they do actually save your progress. So Valkyrie, Banshee, and I think Seeds actually save your progress. However, Link and Amsuit multi-balls, they don't save your progress. So that's where multi-ball stacking becomes really crucial. So what we're going to do now is start Seeds. So what I'm going to do is just bash on the rightmost stand-up targets. And again, I'm not going to really care too much about multipliers and stuff like that. And you'll notice on my specific avatar, the ball will fly up to the top lane so fast that it'll just come flying back down the right orbit. And so that can be tricky to deal with. Haven't seen that happen on too many avatars. If you've seen it happen on the regular, on another machine, definitely let me know. I'm very curious about that. Alright, so I'm going to go for the right target bank. Boom, there's one. Some really peaceful sound effects when you start the game. I really love the sound of the Seeds targets. And then once you get the ball into the pops, there's a lot of really cool sounds up there too. You know, when I first played Avatar, that was one of the things that kind of attracted me to the game. As someone that played a lot of video games, it's a very arcadey kind of sound. So for Seeds, you either get the ball to the pops, or you juice up your spinners, and then you just rip your spinners, and that's how you're going to finish Seeds relatively quickly. Now, if you're on an avatar that has really bad spinners, it could be really tough to complete Seeds. But you can see that Seeds is flashing. It only took me a few spinner rips, and what I recommend with something like Seeds is you want the left orbit because you'll end up ripping both spinners. And seeds is done. I didn't add time. Alright, so what we're going to do here is just bash on the seeds targets again. The problem with seeds, I find, as a mode itself, is I like it from having to complete it perspective, but I don't like it from a scoring perspective. And it's one of those modes where it doesn't snowball in value every time you play it. So like the second time we play it, it's not going to do anything different. It's going to reset the score value on the seeds back down to like 15k or whatever it is, and you're just playing the same thing again. And as you can see, we drained there kind of crazily. That's the danger of going for the seeds targets. Alright, so what we're going to do is actually just go for those Navi targets now. And as we're doing the Navi targets, we'll also try to focus on these in lanes. So, again, there's a set of hurry-ups, 6 hurry-ups in this game. You have to collect all the characters there. You can do that by, again, either completing the in lanes and then hitting the opposite shot that lights temporarily. You'll get some points for it as well, so actually going for the hurry-ups isn't a bad idea if you get them lit. But also, bashing the Navi targets on the left will pulsate that, and then you can try to pick off the hurry-ups all at once. So I'm going to just try to full plunge. My game failed me, which it tends to do. See if I can just bounce. There we go. Now, what's really great about these Navi targets is, assuming you have targets that actually work, mine didn't work very well when I first got the game, and this might be a Lyman thing, but if you hit a target that's not blinking, but as long as a target next to it is, it'll spot you the target next to it. So you don't have to be like super accurate to get these targets lit. Now, I still prefer being accurate, but you'll notice that the Navi targets are now pulsating, which means they're ready. So what we're going to do is just bash the ball into it. And I generally prefer to start with the right side hurry-ups. The reason for that is that it's a lot easier to complete the hurry-ups on the left, because you can feed the right in lane from the ramp. You cannot feed the left side reliably. You can alley pass, but depending on your game, that ball is going way out of control. And then, actually, look at that. I got all the hurry-ups except one, which is Neytiri. Neytiri is the left ramp. And so you'll notice I've got 2 of these lanes solid already. So what I can do is I can hit the left ramp, hit the empty one, which will complete it. Neytiri will light, and that'll be my last hurry-up. Now, something of note is that when you're doing hurry-ups in this game with the in lanes, if you've already completed all the shots on the left, it's going to light your center unobtainium target. That doesn't qualify any of the hurry-ups. You just get some points for it. Don't go for that. It's not worth it. It's too dangerous. There's lots of other better scoring strategies in the game, but it's something to keep in mind. Now, if you have, you complete the hurry-ups on the left side, and you only need, Moat, which is on the AWA captive ball, it will light that. But if you complete all the right side ones, and you complete the hurry-ups on the left, again, it'll light the unobtainium target, because they're already done. So, something to keep in mind. Sometimes I will intentionally cycle my hurry-ups so I don't accidentally light a hurry-up on a side that I don't want, because I'd rather, say, hit the left ramp and then light the hurry-up I don't need on the left side of the playfield. So it sounds confusing, but when you're playing it, it makes perfect sense. Now, there is some pretty good grace period on this game, and so what ended up happening there at the end of Navi's scoring, I hit Jake, which is the link shot, and it actually gave me the hurry-up, even though the lights had just gone out, but it also locked my ball for Link Multiball. Amsuit is flashing at me like crazy. That means that's ready. But again, I'm going to primarily focus on trying to complete my Neytiri hurry-up, which is my last character. So, there we go. Oh, get the ramp. Come on. No, that's not the ramp. See, that's what happens when you brick, dummy. My aim lately has been so bad. You gotta have good aim if you want to be a good player. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just try to loop that ramp. If I wanted to, I can go for the Navi targets, but I'd rather complete that hurry up manually, then go for the Navi targets, because what that'll do is start Navi multi-ball. Alright, so there's one. Alright, there's two. And there's three. Boom, got the hurry up. So now you'll notice all my characters are lit. Now, one of my problems right now is that modes will shut off the side target banks. And this will play into a bigger strategy later when it comes to stacking. You can stack all 6 main modes with multi-balls in this. Or I should say, you could stack all 6 modes together, which includes the multi-balls if you do them in the right order. But if you've got Navi lit, you don't want to start Banshee first because you're going to shut off those Navi targets. Sort of. There's a caveat to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the Navi targets again. You'll notice that he said hit the Navi targets for multi-ball. And again, that only happens when you've got all your character hurry-ups. Oh, Amp Suit Multiball, you have failed me. Okay, back to normal play. I just want those Navi targets. So I need the eye. There we go. Now, I did want to mention there is a caveat to the target banks shutting off. And the caveat is, as long as you have Navi pulsating at you, now you can start other modes. So if you're going to try to stack Navi scoring into a multi-ball, then you can just prep it like this, try not to hit the targets, and then you can start your Banshee and Bomber battle, and then do Navi last, because the Navi hurry-up, it times out the fastest, so you kind of want to take that last into your multi-ball. However, right now, because I've completed all my character hurry-ups, this is going to actually be a multi-ball, and you cannot stack this multi-ball with the other 2 main multi-balls in the game. So we're just going to post-pass right here. Actually, how many shots am I at on Bomber? Let's see. One more for Bomber. You know, this is, I don't need to demonstrate it. I'll show it to you later. I don't want to confuse like the shot patterns and stuff. So with Navi multi-ball, you just have to shoot your 6 main shots, and then it lights a super, multiple supers on the Navi targets, and then it'll light a final super on the unobtainium target. And I don't know why, but the ball save on this is ridiculously short, and that often happens. So if you're trying to get to final battle, and you don't have a lot of faith in yourself in actually completing Navi, to get it flashing on the playfield, you have to get the super jackpot in Navi multi-ball. It's not like super hard, but because of the lack of ball save, and it only starts off as a 2-ball multi-ball. When you get out of ball, it'll turn it into a 3-ball multi-ball. But again, ball save goes out super fast, and if you're not good at picking off those 6 shots, and you have to bash afterwards on the target bank 4 times, and then hit the unobtainium target, it's a lot of work. The payoff in terms of points is pretty pathetic, actually. It's the worst multi-ball in the game. That's one thing I really wish they had modified on this. I wish they made Navi multi-ball a lot more lucrative and a little more lenient, because it takes a lot of hard work to get to it, for one, and you generally will typically get punished for it. So if the game lets me survive, maybe we can get ourselves another set of Navi hurry-ups. Should just be able to let that bounce. Oops. Oh! Player failure. Why do I even do these videos? Okay, so this is probably where the good stuff starts to happen. If you're in a competition, generally multi-ball is a good, safe-ish strategy on this game. So what we're going to do is we're going to just start off with link multi-ball, and you can hit it from either flipper, obviously, but a lot of people much prefer to backhand it. I recommend getting good at both forward-handing and backhanding. Also, the feed to the link shot, the multi-ball shot, it's not a... it's hard to describe. The shot is kind of like flat towards the player. It's really weird. You'd think it would be kind of even with the left ramp, but it's not. The shot is kind of angled in a little bit, and so it looks kind of like a large shot, but it is deceptively difficult sometimes, especially from the right flipper. So again, first one on default settings, you just shoot one ball up to lock, and then you hit it 2 more times. And so I can try to forward hand it. Boom, there's one. And I can try to backhand it. On the fly is dangerous. But now we're in link multi-ball. The first point of contention is the short ball save. And to deal with that, what you want to do is throw a ball back up into link. Just like that. And the jackpots are the side targets and a couple of the other main shots. And the side targets just alternate back and forth. What I want to do is just kind of focus on side targets. Again, if your side targets actually work. So I didn't mention some other mods. One of them is the GI OCD, which I have in here. It's a cheap little $50 board. And Link Multiball is one of the only modes in the game where the GI will flash in and out. Every time you hit the side target bank, it'll pulse in and out, and it's a really nice smooth effect if you look at the GI when you're playing. So that's something I had in here I wanted to mention earlier. So that was a terrible multi-ball, but you know, I can just try to grind out and get back into it. So now it's going to be 2 shots to lock. And it looks like I had already hit the link shot once as the multi-ball was ending. And so that actually, because the ball save, and it ends the multi-ball and calculates it so quickly after you drain, that it actually credited me towards my next multi-ball. So we will shoot the top lanes. We still have, we're on ball 1. Again, I'm not doing any stacks right now intentionally. I'm basically just showing you how the multi-balls work by themselves. So boom, there's one. And because of the 2x multiplier, it didn't actually tell me how many link hits I needed. But it should be 3 link hits to start the multi-ball on the second time. Once you've actually locked the ball already. Yep, one more for multi-ball. Oops. It's funny, I'm hitting it easier with the forward hand than I am the backhand. Which is usually the opposite of how that works. So there we go, I locked my ball. So we're just going to do side target banks. Amp Soup multi-ball is ready. So if you're in a competition, you're trying to stack, now's a good time to start Amp Soup. But what I'm going to do is bash the captive ball, which is my add-a ball. And if you get the balls trapped up on a flipper, boom, pop a ball up into the side target banks. Avatar is a game that will really teach you really good multi-ball control. So if I wanted to, I could also backhand into the link shot. Now the problem is, without the gate popping up, that link shot tends to feed the ball straight down the middle. So just be careful if you're going to go for that shot. Again, I kind of recommend these side target banks. Now this is kind of a tricky one. Let's see if I can get into like a triangular pattern, or maybe get the ball... Okay. See, when you're in a triangular pattern like that, you can sometimes do a little baby tap. Ooh, look at that. And now I'm going to try to shake the game a little bit. Well, I've got no tilt. Let's just shake it hard. Just to show you. This is a demonstration anyway. So, backhand the right target bank. Boom, just like that. Just Oh, I was going to say, take your multi-ball really slow and steady. And of course I do that, and I get punished for it. But you'll notice that there's a little tiny number 2 on the DMD. It says that's basically 2 shots remaining. So I'm going to go for the side target bank. And now I'm going to try to do a cradle separation. Go for the left target bank. And now my super jackpot is going to be lit. Now, once your super jackpot's lit, boom, got it, 6 million. Now, the next shot, if I get it, will be 12, but it's timed. I hate it when this happens. Punished. And now I have to start it all over again. It says victory laps lit. Oh, that's actually right. I totally forgot about that. Alright, so I'm screwed. If I wanted to actually finish Link Multiball, I had to get that timed super jackpot, and that would have been 12 million points doubled after the double, I should say. So, yeah, I kind of messed up there. But now we're in victory laps, and it's basically just a small jackpot value. Try to focus on this point at the shots that are doubled. But it says 350k. It's 350k a shot, so... Could try to hit the Link shot. Ooh, just like that. Alright. So that was bad. I mean, we got 14 million just from Link by itself. I mean, that's actually not that bad. But that could have been 22 million if I got my super jackpot. So the first super goes... I guess it's normally 3 million. But since I had the doubler, it was 6. And the second one is normally 6. But since I had the doubler, it would have been 12. So that's a lot of points just from the multi-ball. So just try to progress towards the next one.
So you just figured you'd come out here.
I only got 10,000 points for hitting that. And it's so funny, they reserve DMD animation for that score value. Like, 10,000, really? Who cares? I always find it funny when games do that. There's like a big score, like it's big font, and it's 10k. Just like, okay. Alright. So, what I've seen, especially older players do when this game was more current, they will literally just play Link all day long. And then you start stacking Amp Suit with it, you can start to see how that strategy is... It's a pretty good strategy. And then if you're just kind of playing by yourself... Or if, I mean, if you get stuff set up in a tournament, man, definitely doesn't hurt to get some mode stacks in there. Wait, there's my Atta-ball. God, I freaking love the multi-ball juggling in this game. It's so good. It's so satisfying. Oh, we started Amp Suit. That's fine. So, I'm just going to focus on target banks. Try to get my Link super. If you get multiple Atta-balls, that's where you can just start flailing like a maniac, and that is not how you flail like a maniac. That's just bad flailing. But alright. We're going to just go right back into Link again. If the game lets us. Whew! That's always an adrenaline rush, man. Oof. So I got Navi scoring again. Not going to worry about it. We already covered that. So I'm just going to keep going back towards Link Multiball. This... Oh! It's okay. That was 3 mil in bonus. You know, I got a few lane completions up top. If you're getting 3 to 4 million in bonus... It's not too bad, really. Not too bad at all. One more for Link. Now, I don't really recommend backhanding that on the fly, depending on how the game is set. I remember my old Avatar from a decade ago. I had a really hard time backhanding it on the fly. You know, it's all about setup and how strong the flippers are, how clean the playfield is, how snappy the flippers are. But this avatar I have now, it definitely plays better than the previous one I had, I feel. Alright, 3 more for Link Multiball. And that's what happens when you start doing stuff on the fly. You end up missing, and because I hit one of the posts, it just came straight back into the old John Borg crazy outlane posts, or outlane rails, or technically inlane rails. Oh, almost again. Alright, let's try to post pass. Kind of like that, and then just backhand. Ooh, oh, oh. I just started Seed's fast scoring. Nobody cares about that unless you're going for final battle. But a great way to complete Seeds is to stack it into a multi-ball. There it is. There's my multi-ball. So now, if I do the AWA, it's going to prioritize adding time to Seeds before adding a ball. So that's something to keep in mind. So that should have added time to Seeds. I just love all the sound effects that end up stacking on top of each other, so I can hear all the stuff from Seeds along with my jackpot shots. And I believe David Thiel did the audio for this game, and he just, from this era of audio with him, was just, I thought, amazing. So I know I'm gushing a little bit, but I absolutely love stuff like that. You know, pinball, it's about gameplay, but it's also about sights, it's about sounds, it's about depth, it's about rules, it's everything. It's not just one thing, and the sound package can be extremely important. Alright, so, I mean, do I really need to show off Link Multiball again? Probably not, but we literally just played Link Multiball with barely anything stacked over and over, and we got 45 million. We could have had a lot more points. Also, special's lit, so let's see if we can hit that. Boom. Oh! I don't have special set to points. I don't think I got any points for that. Special should be something around 7 million. I remember validating that when I first got the game. So, alright. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just drain it. That was basically Link Multiball. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just focus solely on Ampsuit, much like we did with Link Multiball. So, yeah, Ampsuit has a Spider-Man style door, and again, you can see the light, yellow light on AMP bouncing back and forth. And you want to hit the target that has the light, so you can just get the instant drop. I highly recommend only hitting it from the right flipper. The Ampsuit door is extremely dangerous from the left. With the angle and the left flip shot, the ball oftentimes just goes straight out that left out lane, so extremely dangerous. And depending on the game, you have to kind of figure out from the right flipper which target works best for you. Sometimes that middle one works really well for me, so we're going to go for it. Oh! Whoa! That doesn't happen very often. It didn't. It just completely rejected. Okay, there we go. That's more like it. Oh, that was super scary. I think what happened is my magnet core has actually risen up a tiny bit. I need to go in and try to tighten it down and lower it. And it ended up hopping, I think, off the core just a tiny bit. So it hit the top of the Ampsuit door. So that was scary. Alright, so again, Ampsuit is up here. We'll pretend there's a moving Ampsuit. Again, there's 3 targets back there. And if you look at the DMD, you'll notice score values. So I hit the bullseye, which gave me 600k, and faster progress towards the multi-ball itself. If you hit the side targets on the left, you'll get less points, and it'll take more hits to progress towards the multi-ball. So you can hit the Ampsuit from either flipper. Backhanding it is nice, but forward handing it, perfectly viable option. Again, forward handing is something you got to be good at as a pinball player. If you want to, there's a lot of people that are like, I can only backhand it. No, don't get out of that mindset. Learn the forward hand. Learn to hit stuff from both flippers. Both flippers exist. You can hit things from both of them. But let's try the backhand. Boom, just like that. Magnet grabs it. Door comes back up. And now all 7 of your main shots are lit, including the unobtainium target. And what you want to do is just pick them all off. Alright, this is going to be an add-a-ball. Let's see. Nope, that is not an add-a-ball. Very disappointed. Like I said, the AWA mystery shot is a little fickle. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's gonna be add-a-ball, but then you hit it and it's like, oh, here's 200,000 points. It's like, I'm in Amsuit Multiball. I need add-a-ball right now, please. Okay, I'm trying to just lightly flip my flipper. Sometimes you can smack the other side of the cabinet. It's not working too well. So I'm going to try to just sort of pump the right flipper just a tiny bit. Man, it's being really stubborn. Oh! And there we go. So yeah, not a great Amsuit multi-ball. But that's why you want to start stacking Amsuit with Link. I don't usually recommend playing Amsuit by itself unless you're in a tournament and scores are super low. But what we're going to do is just try to get that instant down again. And like I said, don't hit it from the left, but I still got it because my aim was terrible. But now what we're going to do is we're just going to bash on the targets. Woo! That center target is really scary. Man, that is scary. So was that magnet. There we go. Boom, another one. 600k. Another 600k and multi-ball's ready again. And again, if you were hitting the stand-up targets on the side, not the center target, it would take way more hits to get the multi-ball started. So we actually, because of all the bullseye shots, we got our second Amsuit multi-ball ready pretty quickly. Boom, just like that. Magnet grabs it again. Alright, let's see. Let's go for Jake. Whoa! A little scary. Oh my! Oh no! No! That might have been out of ball, but my aim is. How long have I been doing this? Is this like over an hour at this point? Anyway, that is what it is. So what ends up happening with Amsuit Multiball is you pick off all 7 shots. It's all the red shots, and then what ends up happening is you'll have to hit each target bank once. That's Navi, that's Seeds, that's the Amsuit target bank. Once you do that, the Amsuit target bank will lower, and then the bullseye target in the back will light for Super Jackpot twice. And in order to finish Amsuit, you have to collect both those Super Jackpots, just like you have to complete both Super Jackpots on Link. Amsuit is, you couldn't tell, it's a lot more difficult to complete than Link, which is why you really want to get your add-a-balls. You really want to use Link. What I like doing is getting both Amsuit and Link one shot away, and then starting Link and then going right into Amsuit, and then I can try to pick off all the shots for Amsuit, get my first Link add-a-ball on the Link shot, and then by the time I've played a little bit, AWA should be lit. Maybe I'll have a couple of them built up by that point in the game. And then I can bash on that once ball save goes out and hopefully get even more ball save. And I can start flailing like crazy. And then once I see the door come down, I know that my Super Jackpot's going to be lit. And it's just stacking for amp suit is really important, but because you're not likely to finish it just by itself. It's pretty difficult to do. Totally doable, but it's a lot of work. Not a ton of ball save. So yeah. So bashing on those targets again. Oops, that was a really bad drop catch. Again, I'm just going to be going for amp suit. I remember when we had this game in Pinball League, one of the players that I would play with would always go for amp suit. And, I mean, this is what it looks like. Is you can even just get some points just for bashing on the amp suit. Like, I'm at 19 mil. That's another 600k right there. But you can see it's taking a lot more hits to get into it. It's kind of dangerous with that magnet. This is why people will mostly try to play Link all day over amp suit all day. Now, when you're in Link, you want to bring amp suit into it. Absolutely. And if you think you're going to get the super jackpot, you definitely want to have the amp suit doubled. That way you can double the super jackpot value. Alright, so I need the unobtainium target. Boom. So now my target banks are lit. That's seeds. Boom. Navi. Alright, so now amp suit is going to lower again. Boom, there's one. Oh, yes, we got it. That is not super common. That's tough. So that's pretty sweet. Door goes back up. All my shots relight. And now I've just started Link Multiball. So I can try to maybe do it again using the grace period that Link Multiball gives me. Amp suit super is almost ready. Got my Link default out of ball. Alright, I need that seeds target bank for amp suit. Boom, there it is. Amp suit door is dropping down. I need to hit the bullseye. There's one. Oh! Oh, did I hit it twice? Interesting. Yeah, okay. So Link Super is ready. That's my oh, I didn't get the 6 because I don't have a doubler. Try to backhand it. Nope. Boom, there's my Link Super. So look at that. Both my Link and amp suit items are flashing on the playfield. And I think I'm out of balls. Yep. Just playing amp suit, getting the supers twice, and then starting Link Multiball, getting that super, I'm up to 73 million. That's a really good, solid score on Avatar. If you're not getting to the final battle, like if you play competition, you walk out with 73 mil, you should be pretty happy. Avatar is one of those games where it's not uncommon for players to have like 2 million score games. So. Nope. I deserve that. But yeah, no way I'm starting amp suit again. Or will I? Alright, what I'm going to do is actually go for the extra ball. Boom. And then bash on amp suit some more. Alright, better drop catch that time. I've had some failed drop catches tonight. Man, I'm not hitting anything. Oh! Now, what happens a lot of times when you hit the bullseye target, you'll notice the captive ball has this rail on the side of it, the left side. The ball will oftentimes hug that rail, touch the captive ball on the outside and then just go straight down the middle. Just like that. And that's exactly what happened. That is the danger of shooting the bullseye. So shooting the side targets could be a little bit safer. As safe as you can be on a game like this with John Borg magnets. And, but it's something you absolutely have to watch out for. It's a very common issue on Avatar. Another 600K. Ooh, man, I'm getting some really good bullseye shots. Man, even on the fly backhands. Alright, take it nice and slow. Go for Link. Let's go for an Atiri. Boom. Unobtainium. Boom. Got it. That ricocheted into my Seeds target. Alright. Navi. Got it. Alright, now my Super's lit. Let's go for the old backhand. Super Jackpot. That was... Whoa! 15 for the first one? Holy crap, I didn't even realize it was that many points. Okay, yeah, if you get to the end of Absolute, it is doubled, then wow. Very nice. I think most people don't know the value on that because no one ever gets to it. And that is it another 15? Come on, animation. It's another 15. So you can get 30 million from both supers. That is insane. I'm not even at final battle, and at this point I might even get on my own leaderboard. I'm really close to it. Okay, so again, you pick off all 6 shots. Yeah, and again, the reason I really wanted to do individual modes like this is that, again, you know, this is pre-LED Stern, pre-RGB LED in particular. So it's, once you start stacking all the stuff together, unless you've got all the shot patterns memorized, like I do, it's hard to pick out what the shots are. And so, you know, once you get Amp Suit and you get Link Multiball and you've got Banshee and Bomber going, you know, some of the shots won't even be lit, even though they are actually lit. They're active for you to collect, but the light's not going to be on because it's just how they did stuff back then. It's just limitations. So it's actually one thing that makes games like this, I think, really hard for newer players to get into, because there is a lot of micromanagement in your head that you've got to be on top of if you want to be able to make the most out of the scores in this game, or just this era of Stern in general. So more Amp Suit, that's 600. Boom, another 600. You get some crazy Amp Suit action here. It's so dangerous too, that's the crazy thing about it. Alright. I know, if I was on some kind of tournament game, this would have tilted a long time ago. All those saves. But the point of this video is to just teach you guys how to play. Teach you how things work. Alright, there we go. My right target on the amp suit also kind of struggles sometimes. It's over to the right. I've tried to adjust it back over, and it registers sometimes. It doesn't always register though. But I just kind of live with it. Wow. That is something. Only got 2 million in bonus. I just barely got high score for. I didn't even get the final battle. All my high scores are with final battle. Because that's when I'm playing by myself, final battle is always my main goal. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we are going to try to show you how to stack stuff together. And then play some multi-balls, and then what I'm going to ultimately try to do is get to the final battle. And to get to the final battle, you really want to be stacking stuff, and you really want to be finishing stuff. That way, if you drain, when you come back into play, you don't have to restart those modes. You can just focus on the modes that you actually need to relight and finish, or just relight. Yeah, so I will explain that. Okay, so what we're going to try to do now is just try to stack a couple things together, just to give you a basic like stacking strategy. So for one, we want to try to get our multi-balls like one shot away, start working on Banshee, and then start working on the orbits. And what we want to do is just have the orbits and the ramp going with Link and Amp Suit. And, you know, just play the multi-balls out, try to go for the multi-ball shots, but also go for the other shots that are lit, and that's how you start seeing a snowball effect in points. So we're going to go ahead and just full plunge. And of course, the ball went all the way to the right. So I like to try to get my instant down on the amp suit door, because that's a dangerous shot. It's good to do that with ball save if you're on a game that actually has ball save turned on. If you want to, you try to go for Link. Or you can backhand the amp suit like we were doing a bunch of times earlier. I think the game's trying to send me home. I'm already home, game. You can't send me any farther home. Unless you give me a heart attack or something. There we go. Finally hit something. Alright, let's go for Link. Got it. Finally. Alright, just going to do the full plunge. Try to progress towards my multipliers. Now for Link, I don't like to get it one shot away until like I'm ready to just start everything. Because if you miss, the ball has a tendency of like ricocheting off targets and going into the Link shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post pass. I'm going to try to hit my ramp. Got it. I'm going to go for my left orbit. We're working towards Bomber Battle and Banshee. So let's go for Banshee again. Left orbit. So I think I'm one away on each. Now, if I really wanted to risk it, what I can do is I can start going for Navi and Seeds. And this is what I'll do if I've had a decent first ball, I've got some setup going. Go for Seeds. The other nice thing about Seeds is sometimes what will end up happening is the ball will ricochet over to the Navi targets. Oh my god, seriously. Alright. Now, I don't want to start Seeds yet because I haven't fully qualified Navi. That target bank will go out if I start Seeds. So I need to make sure that the Navi target bank is qualified before I start Seeds. But I also don't want to start Navi first, because if I start Navi first, it'll turn off Seeds. So when you get your setup going, you need to get Navi qualified, get everything one shot away, and then start Seeds, then start Banshee and your Bomber Battle, then start Navi, and then you can start your multi-ball right away. So let's post pass. Try to hit the Navi targets. Hope it doesn't ricochet into Link, although I think I still need 2 shots on Link. Boom, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to start Seeds. First part of my big stack. Banshee, I just started Banshee. I just started Bomber Battle. And now what I want is Navi. Boom, Navi is started. Now I want to go for Link Multiball.
Hold your position.
Boom. Now we're going to work on Amp Suit. Try to pick off all my stuff. I need my Link out of ball, big time. I also extended some time. Oh, almost. Amp Suit is also ready. Got it. So now I've got all 6 of my modes going, and I need Sute, I need the right orbit for the Navi hurry-ups. And Navi scoring ended, but I got all of my hurry-ups. Let's see if we can finish any of these other modes. There's my Link out of ball, the normal Link out of ball. I think I still need the unobtainium target for Amp Suit. Ooh. AWA out of ball. Link Super is ready. Slow things down, Austin. Oh, I didn't get my doubler. So Link Super's ready. I mean, if I wanted to, I could try to toss a ball up top, get my 2x, but I'd really like to just kind of get my super. That way, I don't actually have to start Link again if I do that. Boom, got it. Link is flashing at me now. So, I think all my modes are done, except for Amp Suit. So what I want to do is just kind of play Amp Suit. So I need my orbit. Oh, and that's it. Okay, so at this point, I've got all my modes lit. And what I'd like to do is try to start Navi. If I can start Navi and start Navi Multiball, when I come out of that, final battle will be ready. Now, that was a good stack. I had a lot of stuff going, but because I'm explaining stuff and I wasn't really aiming that great, I didn't get a ton of points for it. And you can get a very similar amount if you just do Banshee with Valkyrie, aka Bomber Battle, with your Link and Amp Suit Multiballs, and just make sure you're picking off all the shots. I don't even think I hit the left orbit once, or the ramp once, which is insane. So you really want to be like trying to pump those shots, especially if you've got the doublers on them, and then you could easily get 50, 60, 70 million if you do it right. But if you're trying to just knock out all your objectives for final battle quickly, that is the order that you want to do things in. So you basically set up Seeds, Navi, Link, you get your Banshee and your Bomber Battle one shot away, then you start Seeds, Banshee, Bomber Battle, Navi, then Link Multiball, or Amp Suit, whichever one you've got ready first. So see if we can post pass, and hope the game is nice to us. There we go. There's another one. I'm going to use that no tilt to my advantage there. Boom, there's that. Navi Multiball. Alright, now we have to be really careful here. Again, the goal here is to pick off all your shots. Hopefully we can get ourselves an atta ball. Okay. Now what I want to do is if I get my ball back, I want to put my 2x... I was going to say put my 2x on the middle target, because that's the super on final battle. I went ahead and just collected the atta ball. Alright, let's just wait. I want to wait for the feed before I decide if I'm going to keep playing this multi-ball or not. It'd be really cool to show off Navi Multiball in its entirety, but it just might not work right now. Let's just see. I'm trying to play it very safe because if I come out of this, final battle will be lit. Because again, I have all of my objectives lit. Man, Ampsuit does not like me anymore. It was really liking me when all we did was play it. Maybe it's jealous. Alright, let's go for left ramp. Left orbit. Nope. Shooting way too late. And that's it. I'm not going to be able to show off the final for Navi Multiball, but notice that all my goals are now like just blinking at me. Final battle is lit on the middle. And this is always a stressful shot because it is kind of a weird shot, like I mentioned earlier. Boom, got it. Lights go out, flippers die. If the ball bounces around enough, you can sometimes get flipper powered back. So what this is a switch-based mode. And so you want the ball in the spinners, you want the balls in the pops. And the first threshold is 75 switches. And it looks like I may have collected a super jackpot as the ball came out of the pops. One strategy is to drain the balls and just send them back to the top. My auto plunger is not the greatest, so I don't always like doing that. Also, if you hit things like ramps, they're actually worth more than one switch, so not all switches are created equal. So this is where things get really interesting. You'll notice that it says shoot the center target for 5 million. However, what I want to do is I actually want to collect the unobtainium now on the outlanes. Yeah, you want to drain intentionally. That multiplies the value of the jackpot, the super jackpot. So this is where it gets really interesting. The game forces you, if you want really big points, to just do really weird things that you would never ever think about trying to do. So I actually, with how the game's set up right now, I actually really like it when two balls are on the right, because sometimes if I get it just right, I can nudge the ball into the out lane. Which you can, it's completely unintuitive. It's not what you usually want when you're nudging. Nope, that's not going to happen. And I'm on that side. It's not as nice. Let's see. Can I get borged? Nope. Let's try it again. Now, what's really great is if, say, you know, two balls drained, you're left with one ball, the center target will still be lit, and even when all the regular game mode, the regular game lights come back on, there's a lot of grace periods. So you still want to go for that center target. Man, this is not, let's see. No, go out. Oh man, should have shook it harder. Boom, go out. Nope. Also, what's really cool about Final Battle is every switch is worth 25,000 points. So when you're ripping those spinners and you got the balls and the pops, you're getting actually quite a lot of points just from normal game action. There we go. I got 10 million from that, but it's also going to boost the value of the center target. So let me just try to hit the center target. Boom, 30 million for one shot. If I had hit the other one, it would have been a crazy value. So it's basically just switches, unobtainium, and then hit the unobtainium center target. AWA is lit, so you can still get an add-a-ball at least once. Alright, same position as before. Go out. Nope. Oh, no, back to that side. Good. Good old Sam flippers. Nope. Alright, so a ball just ricocheted into the super jackpot, so I only got about 10 million points for that. And that's fine. You know, if you can just pick off a lot of 10 millions, you're getting all those switch points. Alright, one of you go out. That would be awesome if one of you can just go to an out lane. The one time I want you to go to an out lane. See, this is dangerous. I could, if I want to be safe, just go for my super, which always adds a ball. So you can basically play this final battle wizard mode like infinitely. Boom, there we go. Oh yeah, there's another 30. Oh, that's not good. See, I just want to play it safe here because I really want to get my jackpot lit. I still need 50-something switches, though. Oh, and that is it. We are not going to get another add-a-ball. Nope. That is it. So, guys, that was final battle. And I think we're still on ball 1. I mean, we might as well see what we can do again with regards to stacks and stuff like that. Yeah, we're on ball 2. Wow. Alright, top lanes. Alright, there we go. So, if I wanted to just start the game over, I would just kind of treat it like I did before, except now maybe what I would do is just try to get some Link going, maybe get some Banshee, if I can hit stuff. There we go. Oh, that happens sometimes with Link. It's tough. Boom, there we go. Alright, gonna do a full plunge. You notice that we actually haven't gotten a lot of, like, straight down the middles from the pops. I am very happy about that with my personal avatar here. Because there are a lot where the pop bumpers just hate you. And it makes the game not a whole lot of fun. So, let's try to get maybe Navi ready. Uh-oh. Now, I don't want a lot of side-to-side movement right here, because I don't want to start Navi early. Let's try to hit Link. So something I haven't mentioned, there is basically no instant info in this game, which is why I have not mentioned it yet. I should have mentioned it very early on. So if you ever want to know how many locks you need, or how many ball hits you need on Link, it doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you squat. It doesn't tell you how many shots you need for Bomber Battle. It doesn't tell you how many shots you need for Banshee. Yeah, all in your head. It's very, very bad instant info, unfortunately. And I was kind of typical for a lot of Sterns back then. So, alright, let's do orbits. I need 5 more. Let's go with the right orbit. Try to, ooh, I cycled in the wrong direction. I hate it when I do that. Okay. I'm going to bounce pass. I'm going to do right orbit again. Boom, got it. Alright, now I've got a 2x multiplier. Where am I going to put it? Link would be wise, but I'm not actually entirely sure how many hits I need on Link. Okay, I should need 1 more, I think. Alright, let's go Banshee. Now I've got to hurry up on the left orbit, which is one of my character hurry-ups. And that was bad. So I bricked a shot, it went into the Navi target, it started Navi, and then it hit a post and went straight down the middle. So all that setup, gone. Gone. Alright, last ball. Alright, I need 2 more for Bomber Battle. Oh, so satisfying. The dangerous on-the-fly shot that I never recommend you ever do. Ha 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 ha! Take that, game. This is our last game, so I'm just kind of screwing around right now. It's in the name of science, guys. Don't judge me. Alright, there we go. Alright, so Link is going. I've also got Bomber Battle going. So this is where, you know, I don't really recommend flailing right now. You want to get your attaballs going before you start flailing, and I totally jack that up big time, and that's what I get for death saving. That's pinball karma right there, baby. Ugh. I think my game's wobbling more now. I may have knocked one of the footies off. But yeah, it always makes me happy when I make it on my own leaderboard, especially after accidentally wiping out all my scores that were 5 years old. That really saddened me, actually, because some of my scores were pretty up there. Yeah, guys. So that is Avatar by Stern 2010. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully you used those time codes and you didn't sit through the whole thing. Or actually, maybe I hope you did sit through the whole thing. It helps my watch time. And yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully going through all these modes one by one kind of like makes them make a little more sense. Because, like I said, with this era of Stern, once you start getting multiple modes going at the same time, it's hard to understand what's actually happening. So by narrowing them down mode by mode, hopefully you can kind of understand the shot patterns. And then if you have to, like, if you're playing it by yourself, or if you're a competitive player and you have to take it into you have to play it in a tournament, then you'll have a better idea of what's actually active to collect as shots. Versus what's not. So, but ultimately, I would recommend getting used to stacking Link and Amp-Suit. That is well, first, if you're a complete beginner, especially if you're like a newbie to pinball, Avatar is actually a great skill builder. It's kind of how I started learning how to play pinball. It teaches you things like backhands, like both Link and Amp-Suit are easily backhandable. So try to just start Link Multiball, just play that, and then just let other stuff happen, and then focus on just Amp-Suit Multiball. Just let it happen. And then after that, start learning how to bring both multiballs in together. So, you know, you start Link, you start bashing on Amp-Suit, and then you're playing both those together. And then the next step, in terms of getting better at this game, is start bringing in other modes into the multiballs. So get your multiballs, you know, like one shot away, start whaling that ramp for Banshee, and then start whaling the orbits for Bomber Battle. Then start your multiballs, and then stack both multiballs together. And if you can do that consistently, it's extremely satisfying, but it also scores very well if you can do it reliably. So, also, if you've never really played pinball before, a great starting strategy is just looping that ramp over and over. You know, I've heard a lot of people complain about games that force you to just shoot the same shot over and over, and you know, I never really understood the line of thinking that it's a bad thing, because it's actually really, really good practice. It gets you dialed in onto on-the-fly shots, and that's a very, very important pinball skill, is being able to hit stuff on the fly. Like, hit that ramp, and then you can hit the orbit, and then, you know, you need, it helps build accuracy, and it's very important to keep that skill in your it's not even your back pocket, I mean in your front pockets at all times, because like you need to be able to hit stuff accurately, and this is a great practice game for that. And the cool thing is Banshee scores well, so if you're in a tournament and it's really hard to get your multi-balls going, you know, you can just loop the Banshee ramp over and over again. That is a completely viable strategy. I have won league matches where I'm just like, oh, I can't hit anything today, and it's just ramp, 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 ramp. And I've got like 15 mil on like ball one or something like that. And that's a good head start on Avatar. You know, if you're getting like 15 every ball, Can't really complain too much. Again, it's a brutal game, especially at these bigger tournaments that really make the settings a lot harder. Yeah, there's a lot of really good skill building on this game, and again, it teaches stacking. Stacking is, I think, very important on this game. So, and that's what I like about it. It takes me back a little bit to like Monster Bash days and stuff like that, where it's you really want to play multiple modes at the same time, and then bring them into a multi-ball, and that's how you start progressing faster through the game for one, but also getting points faster too. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I did want to make an announcement. I did actually finally hit 1,000 subscribers here on my pinball channel on YouTube, and YouTube is offering monetization. However, there are a few thresholds I have to hit. One is upload count. Two is also how much watch time I have over the course of a year. And I think they want me to have 4,000 hours of watch time, which is a lot, especially for a pinball channel. I'm not a big pinball channel. I don't get a ton of views. But if you liked what you saw here, please consider sharing a link to my channel to friends and family that are into pinball. I've got a lot of tutorials like this. I also have just regular gameplay videos with no talking, so you can better hear the game audio and stuff like that. And if I can hit that monetization threshold where YouTube enables my channel, it'll give me a little more reason to put more time into my channel, because I literally make $0 off of this. I'm nothing. I actually technically lose money when I travel places and try to record gameplay elsewhere. So it would definitely motivate me to try to go out and record more pinball machines, and even just talk about my own pinball machines in my little tiny collection here. So please consider sharing this video. Also share my channel. I've got playlists. It's all organized, so you can just share my playlists. If you run like a pinball arcade and you've got pinball videos on, there's no crazy tournament streams, feel free to like drop on just my pinball gameplay or tutorials and stuff like that, you know. So it would help me out a lot. It would motivate me to continue doing this. It would help justify all the time put into it. So yeah, if you guys could do that, that would be awesome. Also, you know, as every YouTuber tells you, I have other channels on YouTube. They're much bigger than my pinball stuff, but like every YouTuber will tell you, like, you know, also liking, commenting, stuff like that, subscribing to the channel also helps. But right now, I basically need people to actually watch, and that's the threshold. That's the bar I need to jump over in order to become fully monetized on this channel. And it means ads on videos, but YouTube's already putting ads on my videos, I'm pretty sure. So like, except I don't get any of that revenue. So if ads are going to be in my videos, it'd be better if I get that revenue, and that goes into my pocket, can pay for gas, can pay for lunch, you know, when I'm going out and doing videos on location and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of stuff going on, and it is hard to spend a lot of time on this channel because it doesn't get many views. But a little bit of financial kickback would definitely help. So again, all it takes is just sharing my channel. If you like what I do here, and especially if you've been watching a long time, you know, send it videos like this to friends that you find or you have that will find it useful. So ultimately, I try to just post stuff that will be useful to people, which is why I do tutorials, because a lot of this stuff, you know, especially Sterns from this era, it's kind of hard to pick up on little details, and so I just want to help people with this stuff. But again, a little bit of that kickback will definitely help me. So, but anyway, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not sure when I'll have another video up, but hopefully this one turned out well once I go through and try to chop it up and edit it and stuff like that. But again, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again, and I guess until the next one, take it easy.